Hello, how are you doing?
And give me about 15 minutes.
Eliana, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tiffany, nice to meet
Brian.
you.
Hey, Brian. Steve. Nice to meet you.
Anita, nice to meet you.
Anita.
Michael.
Steve. Nice to meet you.
Tiffany, nice to meet you.
Inez.
Tiffany, nice to meet
Inez.
you.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Hello.
And
Nice to meet you.
All right,
So I may start.
go for it.
So, well, in Brazil we are a little bit behind. So
we had the World Cup to worry about. So you guys were busy. Busy with beautiful women, good food, great weather.
Don't look at me.
She's very sensitive about that.
We are going to start to have Bitten the first season on October. So
Great.
a lot of people, they don't know the show.
Right.
So what would you say for them, what they could expect from the show now in its first season?
Well, in season 1, you get introduced to a pack, a family of werewolves, the Dampers, and we are all we have this intense relationship, and that relationship is put under great pressure and threat by a mud uprising. And at the center of that struggle is Elena Laura, who is the only female werewolf in existence. And she is torn between two worlds. She wants to go live a normal life away from the pack, but then when the pack is under threat, she has loyalties and an undeniable drawback to play, to be a part of the pack. And it really pivots with her struggle, and within that world, the conscious world, we all go through an incredible personal journey. And there's sex and violence, and it's thrilling, and it's very urgent. You know, we live in a very cold and detached world where we share information, but we don't share real connective tissue. And this show is all about the hand in the throat, tearing the shirt open, drawing blood. It's very hot blood.
And some very diverse characters too. I think we're represented well from a casting perspective, but I think in the scope of the series, I think the characters that come in as well, some of our bad guys are just incredible actors, incredible characters, and just really, really lend themselves to the scope of a show that just has so many things being thrown at you at all times. So it's a thrill ride for sure.
All right. What about now that season 2 is about to start here in the U.S.? What can we expect for the coming season?
Well, we ended season 1 on a. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. But we end on a high.
Okay.
So that's to look forward to. And you know,
We're not all high.
Okay,
we're not. Yeah, we're not hitting
High
the bong
note.
or anything. But season 2, we start where we left off. It picks up 3 days after the last day.
Yeah, I'll explain this. Yeah.
The last day. And it's like, you know, pedal to the metal, and it just builds on itself. And then we introduce different characters. We have witches. We have, I don't know, there's certain characters I can't mention here at the table, but the intensity is definitely continuing to the pot is being stirred, and it starts bubbling over.
Yeah, I mean, if there were strong winds in season 1 pulling at us, it is gale force now. Like, the family is being torn apart, and it's that horrifying realization. Episode 13 was so thrilling, but it was like a bomb went off.
Right.
And instead of like us being able to go, oh, that bomb went off and take a breath, it's like you realize you're in the middle of a minefield and you have to run, and there's bombs everywhere, and it really is. It's very dangerous for the family because the bonds that we work so hard to create are put to the test. Yeah, being really pulled out with great forces and black magic, and then there's wolves too. I mean, the Alpha Council comes together, and they don't like the way the uprising unfolded, and they want to take the pack away from me. And witches.
We're on a timeline. We are trying to beat the clock.
It sucks to be a wolf. These are not
good times.
I can't even take a bath. I don't have any time to myself.
It's terrible. Let us just have a meal or something.
I catch up on the Food Network.
Yeah, season 1 we had a nice big breakfast together.
Yeah, no clean undies.
The characters the witches are being introduced in the second season.
Yes.
Any of them having a romantic interlude with a werewolf by chance?
It's not something that we're able to discuss at this point, unfortunately.
But statistically, how
you put a
Nick
couple men and
sleeps
women
with most,
together.
yeah,
So,
he's a hunting dog. This
They're
one.
new to town, so I'm tasked with entertaining them. So I, bring them out. Perhaps maybe there's something like
Some of the
that.
sights and sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Mostly sounds.
You brought up the poo. So, in the season finale, you basically have Logan coming back and saying, "I'm here for the family, but not for you." And then we also have Elena saying, "I'm here for Clay, but not for you." And then we have Malcolm coming back and saying, "I'm here to take your place." So, what's going to happen with Jeremy and all these people?
Well, guess what? There's more people in line. Clearly, no, it
Want to
really,
defy you. Yeah.
it's like this is. I'm so confused. I feel impotent a lot of times in the face of what unfolds in the season, which for me is a very interesting journey, because season 1 I'm struggling. I have a different model of leadership, and I'm struggling to keep everyone safe and protected. And the whole time I'm running away from the reality of my father and that darkness. And I try to, I almost hide behind this civil mask, and everything is decorum and everything is compromise and empathy, and that's important. But I think to solve what is in front of me right now, I have to learn to accept that the monster that is my father is also a monster in me. And I can't run from that, and I can't be whole, and I can't truly lead and keep my pack safe until I fully embrace that in myself. And there's flashes of it in season 1. There's moments. And then I almost recoil from those. And actually, as I'm doing these interviews, I realize that there's something missing in myself, and that something is my dad. So as I work as we work to hunt down Malcolm, I think Jeremy needs to not only hunt him down, but forgive him and embrace that.
Kind of come to terms with.
Yeah, that his blood is my blood, and for me to be whole, I need to feel the hot blood that he has inside me.
And you don't, you don't get a whole lot of time to come to terms with that.
No.
But throughout all the stuff that is happening, all these new challenges that are being presented with, I think you're going to find that.
Yeah, that's the journey.
Yeah, you can see it happening in the first 4 episodes or so.
Would there be an episode dedicated to that point of that storyline?
Well, no, because that hasn't really happened yet. As I'm realizing, like, what I need, and it's funny, I don't know if the writers are going to give that to me. Like, there's a moment, yeah, of
I
course.
think there's more depth to that. I mean, lots of that.
There is the Malcolm storyline is very present. It means 3 days later we pick it up. We've had our face-to-face confrontation. Rachel's gone. The stakes are very high, but for me, the realization of what Jeremy needs is not yet happening in the story. So it's interesting. I find myself in a very chaotic and confusing place, because there's so many elements that I can't control, and I don't know how to handle that yet.
I don't know if it's so much going to be one of those like Dark Knight moments, really, to hit on the head. Okay, this is how it's going to be resolved. But there is certainly an arc that you're going through.
A flashback disaster, if anything.
What's that?
A flashback disaster.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what happened.
We still haven't seen 2 of the final episodes in terms of script, so we don't really know exactly which direction we're going. We're only about to film episode 7 next week, and we've only received episode 8. I haven't gotten the chance to read it yet.
But fatherhood's such a huge underlying issue. For Nick's character with losing his dad and at a very important part of his development into manhood. Your character, Logan, with Rachel being pregnant, impending fatherhood. For me, the idea of fatherhood and this monster that is my own, but at the end of the day, we can't escape the fact that we are our father's sons in whatever way. And until you come to peace with that, you're not whole. And I think that we, and now in a world that there's such a lack of proper male leadership and responsibility and accountability, I think that's an epidemic across our world. And I think that a big limp that we have is the fact that men aren't being men for their sons, and then young men don't know how to grow up and become that man because it's either an absence of a father or a resentment from the father or a detachment. And until you accept that and come to peace with that, I don't think that you move forward as a fully realized man. It's interesting.
Well, there are a lot of men with issues with Germany, so we'll see that.
Yeah.
So, with Logan, you were essentially a dead man walking in the novel, but since you survived in the show, do you feel as if your character has more options regarding personality that fans aren't going, well, Logan wasn't like that in the novel because there's no...
Absolutely. I mean, I have to admit, I've never read any of the novels. Getting into when I took the role for the show, I looked up, what the story was about, and I saw that Logan doesn't survive long. So I figured, I don't know what direction they want to go in with this character, but I have an opportunity to sort of just bring myself to the part and tell my side of the story. So yeah, now that he's still on the table and an option as far as season 2 and hopefully onward. I think we definitely have a lot of freedom to play and see what type of character we can create. And throughout season 2, there's just a lot of new, cool elements that we're adding to the story that I think is going to resonate really well.
I think there's a few women out there that aren't so sad that he didn't die.
I would think more than a few.
There was a few yesterday at the panel.
Oh my god! And you're all of them.
Yeah. You're my favorite. I'm like, yeah.
Whatever.
You're all our favorites, yes.
There's something for everybody.
Well, you certainly hit the nail on the head because Lauren had mentioned that there kind of could be more strong women in roles. There was sufficient, but there can always be more. Your perspective was there should be more stronger male models for their sons.
I think in the world. I got to be honest. I think that there's a real paucity of that.
You're looking at Bitten maybe sort of like an introduction to proper parenthood 101. Looking at it that way.
Yeah, there's certainly, I think what Laura is speaking about, certainly an issue that needs a lot of attention. And I think it's getting a lot more attention too. We're seeing a lot of really fantastic women in roles with some very, very great dynamics and some strong female characters. And I think there's a responsibility for us to acknowledge that and continue upon that. And in our show in particular, too, we introduced some more female characters who also have wonderful dynamics and very strong presences and are all fantastic actors and can just go to any length that we require in our crazy werewolf world that we're living in. And it introduces an entirely different perspective. And therefore makes us take a different look at ourselves as characters, and then the storyline will head in that direction as well. So yeah, we're excited to have these.
And Laura has a very interesting journey because the show is different from the books. Obviously, there's a departure, and there's some of the just requirements of a television show. You want to create drama, but her character becomes the alpha in the books. She is, which is politically a very interesting time when you have. A lot of talk of Hillary Clinton being the that nomination and perhaps President of the United States, and it's very exciting because the wolf world is a very misogynistic world. The other alphas come in, and that becomes very clear. Jeremy's an outlier in the man's world of pack leadership. And for me, I think it's going to be a very interesting journey as the show goes on, where you start to not mentor, because that's not the right word, but to watch her evolve and blossom into her strength. Like right now, like at first in season 1, she doesn't know what she wants, and the uncertainty is there. And at the start of season 2, there's a lot of revenge, and she's blinded by that. But as she grounds herself in the fullness of what it means to be a woman, both the strength, the vulnerability, the femininity, the stridency, all of those things come together. I think that it couldn't be happening at a more ripe time in world politics, because the man's voice has been the only voice heard for so long, and it hasn't necessarily got us into the healthiest place as a planet. and I think that it'll be a strong female voice, and I'm really excited to see what she does. And I think she's going to be wonderful. She takes the responsibility on, both as an actress, but also as a person.
Yeah, she's transcendent in that character, for that reason.
So what can you hint at for stunts for the new season? Because I love the stunts in the finale where you have the bathtub fight and then you have the pillows coming down in the basement. Then there's the decapitation with the window, and I thought, wow, they've really thought this out and planned it. So what excellent stunts can you hint at us that we can expect?
Yeah. I
Going
mean,
forward.
it's been a few episodes, but the first 3 episodes are crazy. They're crazy. Like, they were a marathon to shoot, really, especially episode 3.
Yeah, it was incredible. And it really, our fight coordinator, John Stead, is brilliant. And he writes the fights with a language that is representative of each of the characters. Each character, it's not just gratuitous fighting. It explores and helps evolve a character through that. But the way you're talking about the visual of season 1, and I thought episode 13 was beautiful. You are going to have your mind blown. We saw a little clip yesterday. Not the one that they showed, which was lovely on its own, but like a sort of like a montage thing that the producers have put together, and the visual tone of this show is exquisite. It's gorgeous and it's terrifying. I mean, it's dark and foreboding, and it's like it sends a shiver up your spine. It really is. It is going to be hunted by the most seductive of mistresses. It's incredible. Like it's dark. It's gonna hunt you. It's awesome.
No, I'm glad, because I mean, I liked the first season, but I always felt it should be a little bit darker.
Oh, it gets dark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We definitely addressed that.
Okay.
That which goes bump in the night is there. I mean, it really is. It's terrifying.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. And do you ever want to burn Jeremy's vests?
I didn't see like that.
The vest of
ass kickery, as they were. I wasn't. It's funny. That's not the way I saw the character when I read it. And then you meet wardrobe and costume, and that was their idea. And now I've kind of, it's become something that I can identify with. And it's interesting because there's a protectiveness to it. Like there's almost a self-consciousness about it, which is we talk about not accepting what Malcolm is and what that is in me. It's almost like he's always keeping himself corseted, with civility. And at some point, perhaps the wolf should just come out.
All right, excellent.
All right, we're going to stop it at that. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.